An RT crew has filmed disturbing evidence of crimes the Turkish military is alleged to have committed against the Kurdish population. RT was the first media organization given access to the mainly Kurdish city of Джизре in Turkey, which has been subjected to curfews and blockades for several months. Now, local Kurds claim to us that the Turkish military burned alive more than 100 people trapped in basements during Turkey's operation against the Kurdish Workers' Party. RT's William Whiteman spoke to eyewitnesses and filmed the grim aftermath of the crackdown on the city.
We have been seeing shocking reports of the Turkish government's crackdown against Kurds in the country's southeast. The town of Джизре is where the Turkish military launched an offensive last September. During an 8-day lockdown, food and water supplies were shut off. Injured residents were denied medical treatment. And the most harrowing claim of all, last month it emerged that Turkish soldiers had surrounded a burning apartment block, trapping the residents inside. Up to 150 people are said to have perished in the blaze. With many of the reports coming out of Джизре relying on unconfirmed information, we decided to check out the situation on the ground for ourselves. It wasn't easy, but after days of waiting, we eventually managed to enter Джизре. What we discovered there was chilling.
This looks like Aleppo, it looks like Syria here, but we're in Turkey. It's mad to think this is happening.
We soon came upon the site of the alleged massacre.
This is reportedly the building where between 100 and 150 people reportedly burned to death. They were in the basement of this building. When it caught fire, they'd been taking shelter there. We're going to try and have a closer look inside the building.
A local woman who saw that we were filming told us to follow her.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Erdogan has destroyed our world. He has burned us. Come here and look at the blood.
There's blood all over these blankets. Look at this. There's blood everywhere.
She proceeded to show us destroyed home after destroyed home. In many of them, the bloody bedding of the wounded still remained.
What happened here? What happened here?
This was a residential building. Women and children lived here. Erdogan killed all of them with heavy artillery. He destroyed this home. They claim they're fighting terrorists, but where are the terrorists? All of the victims were civilians. 3, 4, maybe 500 people were killed. They were old people, women and children as young as 10 years old. They killed a heavily pregnant woman.
Evidence of the extreme, heavy-handed nature of the fighting was visible not only in the smashed buildings, but in the remains of weapons ordnance that lay almost everywhere.
More shell casings here.
Though the corpses had been removed, the stench of death still clung to Джизре. We suspected a number of yet unrecovered bodies remained buried beneath the fallen debris.
It smells very strongly around here. It's quite clear that something is trapped under the rubble. Someone's dead under the rubble.
Downstairs we made another disturbing discovery. A second apparent site where Kurds had been burnt to death en masse.
45 to 50 people were killed. They burned all of them. When we entered this basement, we found decapitated bodies.
Did you say they were beheaded?
Yes, their heads were cut off. I went to the autopsies too. I know. They burned them and beheaded them.
So they were reported, we just spoke to these guys up here who helped recover the bodies from down in here. They were reportedly 45 people burned to death in this basement, and it really does smell very strongly down here.
Apparently, as well as a shelter from the onslaught taking place above ground, this cellar was also used as a makeshift hospital to treat the wounded. Charred medicine bottles and surgical scissors appeared to back up this claim. Suddenly, locals told us to follow them. They had discovered an unexploded projectile from a grenade launcher just down the road. Even without the shocking accounts of local residents, the extreme levels of brutality and destruction during the Джизре lockdown are undeniable. With curfews underway across the region, the total civilian cost in Turkey's renewed war against Kurdish separatism remains to be seen. But if Джизре is anything to go by, this figure could be staggering. From Джизре, William Whiteman, RT.